If your stylist don't wear a hat sometime, can she really do hair? Like, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a hot minute since I've actually done a sit down video, but I've been seeing a disconnect in the beauty industry as it relates to client versus stylist. And so I'm here to kind of bridge the gap however I can. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about client retention and how to keep your client coming back to you. So just a disclaimer, in this video I won't really be going over marketing, branding, how to get yourself out there, the do's and don'ts. I won't be talking about any of that because there's already so much content out there on how to get yourself started in this industry and in any other industry pertaining to social media, marketing, advertising, and all of that jazz. So we're gonna act like you've already been in the business, but you're having an issue with people coming back to you. So that is what today's video will be focused on. So without further ado, let's hop into these 8 tips I have on how to retain your clients. So the first one goes without saying, it's be professional. So we having an issue, stylists, and y'all know it. The lack of professionalism is going to be what ultimately hurts your business the most, okay? Be respectful of people's time, first and foremost. Try to be as on time and as prompt as you can be. All of us are busy, we have places to be. When a client sees that you are trying your best to be prompt and you're not talking on the phone while you're doing their service, or you are not talking to other people and lollygagging and taking your precious time, and that you actually value their time, then they're more apt to come back and spend their money with you. Be professional in your appearance, the way you show up to the salon. Now, some days are better than others for me. Some days I look like this, and other days I have on a hat, okay? But if your stylist don't wear a hat sometime, can she really do hair? Like, but you also want to be professional in your conversation. What are you talking about at the salon with your client, with other stylists, with the other guests? Like, what is your conversation like? Are you gossiping? Are you talking about other people? Are you talking negatively about anything? Do people feel safe when they come into your establishment based on your conversation? Another way to be professional is to be responsive. I've been hearing about lately how the stylists think they're celebrities. They don't like to contact people back. You have to jump through flaming hoops to get in contact with them. So make yourself accessible, not overly accessible, but accessible to your clients in that they can reach you by some type of phone number, email. Make that information clear on your website. How can someone get into contact with you? DMs should not be your #1 point of contact. Somebody needs to be able to see either a phone number or an email address, and hold yourself accountable and respond back to clients as soon as you can. Okay, so my second tip is be the expert. Nobody wants to visit somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. They're not the expert in that area. So the #1 way to build and keep clientele is to solve a problem. To get clientele in any realm is to solve a problem. If your client is asking you questions and you don't know the answer to majority of those questions, or you cannot quickly get to an answer for them and get back to them when you find out what that answer is, then it's kind of like, you know, you're not as useful as you could be and not as useful to the paying customer. So you want to put them at ease by helping them alleviate their problems, whether that be, how often should I come and get my hair trimmed? I'm not really sure. Do you think it's time for me to get a retouch? So you want to be confident, speak confidently, and be able to, for the most part, answer any questions that your client may have. Be informative at the end of a service or during the middle of a service. If you notice something, give tips to your clients on how they can maintain their hair at home and what they can do in between those salon visits. Because when you do this, you give off that you care about healthy hair, you care about their maintenance at home, and that you want to help them in some kind of way. You're solving their problems. Okay, so my next tip, I think I'm gonna have to do a whole separate video on, because this is a big one. You want to master the art of scheduling. The first step in doing this is to time yourself when you're doing your most popular services. Let's say you time yourself 10 times doing a particular hairstyle. Take the average of those 10 times, and that's about how long it takes you to do that particular style. So when you go to do your scheduling, whether you do that manually or via a website, a professional website, you know about how much time to have in between each client, or when the next person can come, or while she's under the dryer, maybe I can do this because I know exactly how much time it takes me usually to do that style. Mastering the art of scheduling starts by first knowing how long it takes to do each service that you offer. About how long it takes to do each service that you offer. And so to that, I'm gonna also add a snippet. Some people won't come out and say this, but I've learned that it really helps, is to not be too available. Let me explain it a little deeper. Women will do whatever they need to do to come and get their hair done. They will rearrange with babysitters. They will get someone to watch their children. They will use PTO at work. They will rearrange their schedules to come and get their hair done. And men will do it too. So you don't want to be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and letting people decide your time for you, because you as a stylist have a life as well. So you want to give windows and pockets of time where people can come in. That way, and again, this video is for stylists or aspiring stylists. That way, a person sees, okay, this is what they have available. I have to figure out how to get in at this time, versus I'm open whenever you need me to be open, because that gives off the perception that you don't have a consistent clientele, that you're sitting around waiting for people, and that ultimately you're not a hot commodity, and you want to appear as though you're a hot commodity, even if you're not there yet. So don't be too available. A lot of new stylists and old stylists really make the mistake of being way too available, having their schedule bust wide open, and letting the people decide their schedule for them. You pick a schedule, you figure out how long it takes you to do each service, and base your schedule around that. And once it's full, if you want to take more people, great. If you don't, you've met your bottom line and you don't have to. So once you master the art of scheduling, then the clientele kind of comes to you. So my fourth tip on how to maintain your clientele is to be selective about who you decide to have as a client. Everybody cannot sit in my chair. Just because the atmosphere that I am cultivating at my salon may not be the right fit for everyone, and that's okay. Don't be afraid to fire a client if they're being disrespectful, if they don't adhere to your policies and rules, if they are just ultimately not a good fit for you, and vice versa. Then it's okay to fire a client and say, well, I'm not the best fit for you, but I can refer you to X, Y, and Z, or I wish you luck in your search for a new stylist. I've had to do it, and it just is what it is. It's just like when a woman gets online or on social media to find a new stylist. Imagine how picky she is looking for that next new stylist, the person who's going to be in her head, making her cute, whatever. She's going to be really picky. You want to be just as picky as the client, right, when it comes to deciding who can sit in your chair. And it's for the safety and comfort of other clients who are patronizing your business as well. So if you have an unruly client and they're cussing all the time, they're just not pleasant to be around, and you know that that's not the type of atmosphere you want, and it's running other customers away ultimately, then you have to do what you have to do. So be picky and decide early on what you want your base clientele to look like, and build from that. You want quality people. So number 5 is a big one. You want to be able to pick up on the client cues. Let's say you have 2 clients, client A and client B. Client A comes in bi-weekly, and she loves to give you a rundown of what's happened to her since her last visit. You know the name of her husband, her children, you know where she works, you know where she's going on vacation in 6 months. You feel like you know all of this lady's business because she shares it with you, right? So client B comes in, she only answers your questions with one word, yes, no. She closes her eyes at the shampoo bowl, and she's not very talkative. You have to be able to be versatile and work with both of those clients well. So for me, with client A, I'm asking her questions. I'm remembering important details of her life. I'm remembering her birthday. How did that job interview go? Or, you know, whatever, because that's the kind of stylist she's looking for. That's the kind of atmosphere she's cultivated with me. That's what she's put out there, that, hey, I want to talk when I come here. Client B, on the other hand, she wants a quiet service. This may be her time away from her children. She may be a customer service representative and have to talk on the phone at her job. And her time at the salon is her only peace and quiet. So she doesn't want to fill that 2-hour gap in her day with talking. She wants to be quiet. And so I will ask minimal questions. I won't strike up too much conversation, because at the end of the day, it's about who's in my chair at that moment and what do they want to do. I know me personally, when I go get a massage and my masseuse is chatty, I'm like, I'm not coming back. I don't want her no more, because I want to relax. And if you're not able to pick up on those clients' social cues that they're giving off, because they will give them, then, you know, ultimately that may hurt your business as well. So let your client decide how she would like to spend her time in your salon, and then you follow her lead. So my next tip is to be multifaceted. Learn how to do more than one thing. There are a lot of stylists who pick a niche, and that's fine. I'm not against niches. But in order to know what you like and what you're good at, you have to kind of try everything. If you are looking into picking a niche, focusing on one area. I know plenty of stylists who only do color. I know stylists who only do sew-ins or who only work with natural hair, and that's fine, but be multifaceted enough to where you're willing to try other things, and when you do hone in on a specialty, then perfect that. Be the expert in that specialty. And this kind of piggybacks on my last tip of being personable. Make your client feel like you're the stylist for them. My clients tell me all the time, I feel like I'm your favorite. And that's what I want, because I know to turn it off for client A, turn it on for client B. That all goes within the tip of being multifaceted. So the 7th tip I have on retaining your clients would be to offer perks and amenities. So especially in the beginning, you want to get promotions out there. You want to run specials from time to time, offer loyalty programs, something for the client's birthday with 10% off, $10 off, whatever. And you also want to offer light refreshments or something, because ultimately it makes the client feel special. You know, offer those little things that give a special touch to your client's visit. And so my last tip on retaining clients is to be yourself. Develop a signature that is unique and specific to you. You can look at this in a branding way, or just like your personality. What do people get when they come and sit down with you? What will they walk away feeling like because they had an encounter with you? What sets you apart from everyone else? What will that thing be? So developing your signature, finding out what other people see in you, and taking heed to the reviews that people leave on your website or on social media. Take heed to all of that, and overall get a collective idea of how you make people feel when they leave your chair. If that's a positive, then they'll definitely be back. If it wasn't so positive, then they'll search elsewhere for a new stylist. Of course, you won't be able to please everybody, but at the end of the day, how do people feel when they leave you? What impression did you have on that person? If I were her, would I want to come back to me? And people are really attracted to you being you, right? So you don't have to do anything like the next stylist does, because y'all know I love Jesus. I believe that God made us unique for a reason. If we're trying to be like the next person or covet what the next person has, then the world is missing out on what unique experience they would get with us, right? So if you be yourself as you are and apply the other tips by being prompt, being professional, making the client feel special, your clientele will go through the roof just because it's like natural law. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. If you are a stylist and you've learned some things along the way about how to retain those clients and keep the same ones coming back, then let me know down in the comment section, what would you add to this list, or what has worked for you, or what would you take away? All of that, let's chat about it in the comments. Don't forget, if you're new here, to please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with another stylist. I appreciate you all so much for tuning back into my channel, and I will catch y'all in the next video.